Hi friends, this is your mixed level 3 sponsored video for the month of March. Happy spring. We may be using our blanket a bit, we may be using our blocks a bit, and we may be, let me make sure I gave us enough space, be using a belt a bit on the wall. So grab what you have. They don't have to be these exact things. They might be helpful. Be creative with your props. See what you have around at home and come to sit in a comfortable seat for you. Slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale. Bring one hand to your heart center, bring one hand to the low belly, filling, emptying, making space, letting go, receiving, releasing. Bringing hands in front of heart center as if they were cups, open and waiting to receive the springtime rain, the mud. Embracing mud season for all it's worth, as we know we can grow our roots deeper, stronger. And then taking a mudra that works for you. Index finger to thumb for wisdom, middle finger to thumb for patience, courage, determination, traditional ring finger to thumb for strength, and pinky finger to thumb for communication. And we'll start to circle those wrists in front of us and above us, and then come on back down and go up again. And let the top crossing at your wrist, opening your hands and your elbows bend, and maybe you feel your toes stretch a bit and your seat press down a bit. Receiving a little more of the mix of seasons, the late winter, the early spring, and bringing it down to frame your heart center. Receiving. Bringing your hands together, if possible, interlace fingers and inhale, lengthen arms and exhale. Bring hands back to the heart. So this movement where we've crossed the midline balances the brain, helps us to focus, and also helps us to release anger. Find your inhale, find your exhale. And next time your hands move to heart center, release, and we'll breathe the arms out and up, and breathe the arms out and down. Twice more, and remember that simple lift of the arms out and up overhead is lifting the energy, lifting the spirits. And while we're here, let's do our Kundalini Set first. So we'll let the palm, left hand makes letter L, palm up and open next to the heart, and your other hand is reaching to the side and coming up and over, and then palm to palm meet, and then this hand comes up and over, and fingertips touch down. You're moving with your breathing, so let's add the breath work now. You're making a circular mouth, and it's as if you're taking 3 sips of inhale. And then a nice big exhale. So now we're breathing through the mouth. Continue. Imagine you're tracing your very own energy field, And you're bringing earth energy from the ground that you're touching back up and into your heart chakra. Palms meet, slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale. Hands reach out to the side. This is fly like a bird. This set, by the way, is good for the heart, the shoulders, and the circulation. Your hands are pretty much relaxed and you're starting to create circles, lifting arms up and back and then forward. Same circular mouth moving with powerful breathing. Slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale. Breathe. Sometimes I feel a bit lightheaded during this set. Keep on breathing. Arm flutters. Your right hand makes the backwards letter L and we'll place that on top of the other. Palms are facing down. Elbows are up. Inhale, lifting up above the heart a bit. Exhale, lowering down, moving with your breathing. Same circular mouth. Slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale, resting arms, hands, excuse me. When you're ready, it's doing its good work. We'll come up to stand. If you have some fun music with a drum beat that you'd like to turn on, you're welcome to pause the video, find that music and turn it on. I'm going to imagine my springtime music here as I lift the heels and bend the knees and maybe lift the toes up a bit and then invite your hips to move. The Kundalini teachers would like us to have a Bungara rhythm with Punjabi drums, so maybe you'll YouTube that and see what you come up with. And your elbows bend and maybe your hands start to reach for that springtime sunshine, and you lift your shoulders, and this is what we want to invite, a little bit of the lifting and the lowering. And maybe you'll reach through one side and then the other, and maybe you'll reach through the opposite sides and then the other. So find the rhythm that works for you and breathe. And this is one of my favorite parts of our Kundalini teachings. My teacher always gets us up and dancing, and then we'll start to reach forward. And maybe you'll do a little more rolling of those shoulders as you reach down, and give yourself permission to trace the symbol, if you like, of infinity, the sideways looking number 8, as you move side to side. then next time you come center, see your feet about 3 feet apart, maybe the width of your mat. And bring your hands up to your knees so your legs are long but not locked. Your elbows can have a little bend and you're gazing forward and down so your neck is long with the rest of your spine. And then we'll release the hands either to your legs, if you like, or to the floor, and you'll bring the feet in so they're a little bit more than hips width apart, and we'll bounce. So your palms and your fingertips are just touching down lightly. And your legs can be long but not locked, and if you feel better with a little bend in your knees, that works too. And then on a nice big inhale, bring your hands to your knees. And then a nice big exhale, bring your hands to your hips. And inhale, come all the way up. Slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale. Give yourself a moment or two, especially if you feel lightheaded. And on an inhale, reach your arms out and up, fingers interlace, palms to sky. And on an exhale, let's bring those feet a little closer so they're more hips width. And on your next exhale, bow halfway forward. Take on the shape of numeral 7. And on an inhale, arms reach out to side. On an exhale, arms reach overhead. 2 more. Fingers interlace, palms press, you lift and lengthen. These are hasta vinyasas, how my classical teacher warms us up. Inhale, out and up. Palms to sky. Exhale, hands behind you, holding elbows or almost elbows. Or if you prefer, Tristanjali, the palm to palm might start low and eventually may make sense behind your heart a bit more. Inhale, opening up, and exhale, bowing forward halfway. And you're welcome to stay at the halfway mark. For some of us, it makes more sense for the low back. Or you can start to bring your head closer to your legs. As you press down, inhale, lifts you up, and exhale, releases hands, arms reaching out and up, palms to sky. Exhale, hands come behind you, and this time the fingers will interlace so your palms face your body first. Roll the shoulders, and then as you're ready, see if you can press the palms away from you. Inhale, open up, lengthen a bit, and exhale, bow forward halfway for starters. See if and when it makes sense to bring your head closer to your low legs. Pressing down, lifting up, releasing hands. And we'll take it through sun salutation. Top of mat, arms reach out and up. Fingers interlace, palms to sky. Exhale, heels lift. exhale to your half squat. Let your hands reach way out in front of you. Let your seat reach way behind you. Keep those good knees in line with second and third toe. Inhale, fingertips to toe tips. You know you can hold on to your blocks so that there's less pressure on everything involved, and your right foot steps back for a bit of runner's lunge. We can bring that back knee down or keep it up. As we bring the front foot to meet the back foot, we'll bring the forearms down, and here you might interlace the fingers, push through your tippy toes, lift your hips and press back through your heels for your very low plank. Slow, steady breathing. Knees come down, tops of feet come down, hips come down, and let's move directly into the Sphinx pose with the forearms down, the palms down. My forearms are pretty much underneath the shoulders. My wrists are pretty much in line with the elbows, and we'll release the head and the heart. And inhale, lift up through your shoulders. Keep your hips pressing down toward the mat, please. A little forward and a little down. And one more. Slow, steady breathing now. Eyes grow big and wide. Tongue sticks out. Lions or lioness roar after the inhale 3 times. Two more. One more. Releasing to your forehead, to your stacked palms. So we'll rock the forehead side to side, giving the marma points, as they are referred to in Ayurvedic science, sister science to yoga. Good attention, marma points. And I'm sure in other practices there are other names for these pressure points above your eyebrows. Coming center, head lifts, hands move back near the chest, and you'll press down to lift up and take it back to child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch. Maybe your arms will reach in front of you. If it makes sense, you can even find temple or steeple hands with your long arms and child's pose. Inhale brings you forward to table, and we're going to take a dolphin rather than a down dog. So your forearms come down again, your fingers interlace, and you pick your hips up and press back through your hips and press a little down through your heels. So heels may not touch down, no worries. See if you can keep a little point in the tailbone to the ceiling. Your gaze is a teeny bit forward. Slow, steady breathing. And then gently bringing the knees down. You might find your blocks, again, if it applies less pressure on any parts that need less pressure. And we'll push the left foot back in a 3-legged table and pull that knee underneath. The blocks can help the transition forward, or if it feels right to press into your fingertips, you may. But sometimes we have different things going on with the body, and so we adjust how we practice and press off the back foot to come all the way forward. We start with the half fold. Some of us stay in the half, and we move to the full fold as it makes sense for you. Coming up in steps, finding reverse swan dive as you wish. And we'll take it through again. Inhale, lengthening. Fingers interlace, palms to sky. Exhale, half squat. Pressing down, lifting up, really pressing through those heels a little bit more. Fingertips to toe tips. Find your blocks if you like, and the left foot steps back to lunge. You can take a moment to do a little pull in and up, a press back through the heel, back knee can settle. So the front foot meets the back foot, and we'll find the forearms down, low plank again. Hips move forward, knees lift, and you're pressing back through the heels, breathing. Knees come down, tops of feet come down, and perhaps we'll stay with that Sphinx pose. You can press your hips forward and down. You might release your head and heart a bit, and inhale, lift up and through, and do that twice more. And one more. Slow, steady breathing now. Head and heart. Release, hands move near the chest, and you'll press down to take it back to child's pose, or I'm going to move directly into puppy dog first. So forearms down, forehead down. My elbows are in front of shoulders, tail is up, toes are tucked, knees are down. Inhale, gently lifts the head and heart, and then the elbows lift, and you continue with this variation of puppy dog. And then moving forward to your forearms. Once again, the elbows are a little closer to you, and we'll press into the toes and lift the seat up and press back a bit. See if the tail will continue lifting as you press the heels back. In your dolphin pose, your gaze can be a little bit forward. And then gently bringing the knees down, finding your blocks as you like, pressing the right heel back if you have space, and then bringing that foot forward and finding any support that helps you lift up and push up and come to the half fold, followed by the Uttanasana, the full fold. Coming up in steps, reverse swan dive as you like. Bringing hands to your hips, let's press the right foot down and step the left foot back. And we'll start in a high lunge. So your back hip will come a little forward and your front hip will come a little back. And you're keeping a nice bend in your front knee, but your back leg is long. So you're pressing through the heel even though it's up. And then you can reach your arms up for balance. Maybe find goddess arms. If you like, you can release your back heel and find warrior one leg. So you're Back foot's on a bit of a diagonal. Notice the weight at the inner edge of foot and distribute weight evenly to inner and outer edge. And then find the hands in front of you and imagine you could reach for that springtime sunshine and pull it into your core. And then reach a bit more, pull it into your center space. And as you're ready, lift that back heel up and see about reaching and then pulling, inhaling and then exhaling, moving with your breathing as you reach back, that you might find a little more of the lunge. Next time you come forward, take it for a walk, shake it out, wiggle it out. The other foot presses down, the right foot steps back. Start in the high lunge if you don't mind. Your back hip comes a little forward. Your front hip moves a little back. Finding your high lunge with warrior one arms. Letting your back heel settle again. Your front knee keeps a bend. Your back leg is long and strong. And then hands come center and we'll reach for springtime sun. Pulling into our third chakra, the center of our power, our solar plexus. The back heel comes up. You're reaching and pulling, inhaling and exhaling. Coming forward, shaking it out, walking it out. Let's walk it to the wall and press our fingertips into the wall. Press through one foot, lift the other foot and let it lean against your knee as you take a 1.5 legged half squat. Eka Pada Ardha Utkatasana, I believe. Keep breathing. Keep the foot flexed, that's up. And then press down, lift up, walk it out, and we'll move to the other side as you're ready. Other foot down, other foot up. Half squat with 1.5 legs. Pressing down, lifting up, taking it for a walk, and let's find our belt. If you don't have an exact yoga belt, you might find one in your closet. You could roll up a towel. You could find an old tie perhaps, and let's keep it the belt that is close by. You could have a hand to the wall and press one foot down and lift the other foot up for tree pose, toes down, heel up, full foot under your knee, full foot above your knee, And of course we have the half lotus option. So if that's the case, you're bringing your ankle near your hip, and then you might see about the belt wrapping the top of the foot. Your matching hand to the bent knee wraps around your back and then holds the belt, and then your long leg hand can hold the wall or reach up, hold the wall, you choose. So we start here, and you might see about a forward fold in this Vrikshasana series. You could bend at your hips and bring your hand down the wall to reach for a block or maybe the floor, and then you'll come back up and walk it out and shake it out. And we'll move to the other side. So the other foot grounds. Let's place the belt where we don't have to hold on to it for a moment. Toes down, heel up. Full foot under the knee. Full foot above the knee. And you're welcome to stay in any of these options. Just be sure your inner edge of knee is out to the side of it, and your hips are facing forward a bit. And you know you can always bring palm to palm in front of heart. You can always find the wall and the sky as you're ready. I'm going to see about the half lotus on this side. So my ankle moves near my hip, and then the belt can be helpful in wrapping around the top of foot. My standing leg hand is holding the belt, and then my matching hand wraps around, and you hand that belt off to the other hand, the matching hand, excuse me, and you reach up. And you'll see if you want to take it for that forward fold or not, it's up to you. And then coming back up and walking it out and shaking it out. And we'll move into dancing Shiva. So that was your Vrikshasana, and now we're moving to Nataraj Asana. You can use the wall. Let's fold the belt in half, or whichever you're using in half. Be about an arm's length away from the wall. One foot down, and you're catching the other foot with your belt. And you're holding that belt so it's against the top of your foot. Watch for the knee that moves out to the side and bring it in line with your hips. Move your forearm forward and see if your matching arm doesn't mind coming up and over and around. And maybe the hand that's holding the wall will eventually reach back. Keep the toes stretched and breathe. And then come out the way you came in. Perhaps not that quickly. So let's see if I do this facing you, if it will make sense. So one foot down for the other side. Other foot gets caught by the belt. I like to wrap that belt and lift my foot at first, and you might stay right here. You can hold the wall, you can reach in front of you, you can find one of those mudras. Watch out for the knee that goes out to the side. See if you can bring it in line with your hip. And then maybe you'll start to lift and bring the hand up with the elbow over and around, and maybe this hand will reach up and back, and now both of your shoulders receive some really nice attention. And then coming out the way you came in, walk it out, and shake it out, and let's come on down to the mat. So we're going to set up for a supported rest if you don't mind. I'll set up so you can see, hopefully, I start with the first block on the 3rd level, so you know there's 1, 2, 3 levels, and then the second block on the middle level. And I usually start with them pretty close, and you'll see why in a moment. We'll need the belt. If you have layers, have that nearby, and a blanket. Or maybe you have a big pillow or a bolster or a towel, so use what works for you. You don't have to have these specific things. And I'm rolling up the shortest edge of my blanket because I like the blanket a little wider. If you like the blanket a little longer, you'll roll up the longest side and you'll lean that against your blocks. And then you'll want to scoot your seat to the whatever you have here against your blocks, so you don't have to move once we use the belt. But I want to show you, so I'm going to move. Your soles of feet come together, and you're wrapping the belt around your feet. Actually, I like the loops over here. So keep the loops of your belt, if you have that, on your shin or near your ankle, and then bring the plain side of the belt around your back. So I have the belt in the middle. It's not around my knees. It's right here around my feet and in the middle. And then wrap this belt around your low back and let the plain side of the belt go under the loops. And then the plain side comes up and over the first loop and under the second loop. And we'll pull. And you might need to switch where the loops are, just so they're out in front of you and you have a little more room for pulling. And sometimes we need to push the belt down on the low back. So now that you have that in place, your legs should feel pretty supported. If they do not, you may need to pull a little more, or you may need to place some kind of props under your knees so you feel more supported. But the idea of the belt like this is to have your legs feel held. And then find your layers and find your props. So the tricky thing when we don't have a really wide prop is to find this in the middle of our shoulder blades. I'm going to hold one block as I move back, and then my blocks are pretty heavy, so they can stand me leaning against them without falling over. If you have light blocks, please proceed gingerly. And then reach back for that second block somewhere. There it is. Oh, it might be leaning against my other one then. So I do need the second block further away. Sometimes I can move it without moving up, but this time I needed to move up. So the first block is supporting underneath my shoulder blades, and the second block is supporting under my head. You might want to experiment with the height of both blocks. You could move them a little lower, you can move them both on the highest level, and then sometimes it feels just right to let our arms rest. Sometimes we need props under the arms. Sometimes we want the arms to rest on the body, or the hands anyway. And you're breathing here. Slow, steady breathing. then gently beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And you know you can always pause the video and take more of your yoga rest time, your Shavasana. And you might bend the knees and slowly but surely move the feet out from the belt. You'll see if you want to push into one arm and roll to one side, or with your knees bent and your feet down, will your hands hold the edge of your mat, and you can press down a bit in order to begin lifting up and finding your way to your seat. You can prop your seat, or if you feel done with your props, no worries. And you can move the belt out of the way, and maybe you'll cover your spine with a bit of blanket or scarf or shawl. Big focus of yoga is to keep the spine supple, and so we do a lot to warm up the spine, and we want to keep it warm as we come to a still seat. And you can let your hands rest open, receiving all of that good energy you just created for yourself and there for others. And it really truly does work that way, and this is the energy we want to pass along. So we do this practice to take good care, to support ourselves through all of life's changes and transitions, and then to go back out into that place called life or world and serve each other. And when we do this practice, we're better prepared to do so. Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril breath. Your index finger and middle finger come down, your ring and pinky stay out, and your right thumb closes. Right nostril, you exhale left. Inhale. Close. Pause. You exhale right. Inhale. Close. Pause. You exhale left. Inhale. Close, pause, you exhale right. Inhale. Close, pause, you exhale left. Inhale. Close, pause, you exhale right. Inhale. Close, pause, you exhale left. Inhale. Close, pause, you exhale right. Bringing hands to heart-centered mudra. We'll close with the sounds for peace. Om Shanti in Sanskrit. Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Om peace, peace, peace. Join in, listen in, mentally recite after inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Om. Slow, steady inhale. Slow, steady exhale. May you have peace. May you be peace. And may Satnam. Namaste. Be well. And if you're interested in having your very own yoga private, reach out through email or phone call or text, and then we can have your very own yoga video created, and there's the option to add a Reiki private onto that as well.